Okay, so there's our lob from last week. I've just got her regular part. Mine was on the side. Okay, we are not touching her length. This is invisible layers. We are also not touching her layers. Okay, it's that interior cutting that we've been talking about with the texturizing as well. Okay, so I am going to section her hair off into the parietal ridge and up. Okay. And please unmute your, because I can't keep up with the chat window, please just unmute for a question if you have any. All questions are good, okay? There's no bad questions because someone else is probably thinking it too, all right? So, does everyone remember what part of the head the parietal ridge is? It's just where it starts to change that direction, okay? Around here. Right, does everyone remember that? Temple to temple. So it changes on each person, right? That sort of area. And sometimes you can go just above the parietal ridge. If it's thicker hair, I find I do that. And if it's finer hair, you could go just below it too. It just depends. That's a big sectioning tip on men's hair, because this is all we're going to be moving on fast to men's hair straight after the midterms. I think you've got a model day and then we're straight into the men's method, which is cool. It's exciting. You guys will be having all your access to that as well. Let's have a little look together. What do you guys think? Pretty good, pretty good. You guys are my mirror here, come on. All right, where's my clips? Use these ones. I've disinfected all of my clips, ready for, I've got like 5 sets, clips and combs all ready for my clients. Here we go. There's my down that side. Straighten it up just a little bit. Do you know what? This side, because her part's a little bit lower on this side, I'm going to leave it a little bit lower anyway. Let's see if I can do that as well. Okay, there's your section. It's kind of weird. Oh, sorry. Okay, layering. What does layering do? I'm going to answer my own questions, right? It removes the weight, right? We're going to move some weight from in here, okay? 1/2 inch vertical sections. Let's give it a little stretch. Making sure everyone can see. I'm using the wider tooth of my comb for less tension. If you find it easier, yet again, you can just like clip this aside. So there's your first section. Remember, like we can layer through, you can actually start your whole layered haircut under here like this and then still connect the top in because you're working this area through here, okay? A lot of people just layer the top of people's head. They're just always automatically up here. But when you're actually following, remember that picture from last week when it was showing the layering coming around, like around the head, right? It comes down here still. It doesn't stop. Layers don't just stop here. I find a lot of haircuts stop there. Layers continue all the way down. Then you're removing that weight through the whole hair. But a lot of people have this real bluntness at the bottom and thick, and then they just have that little layer on the top. And to me, it's not removing enough. It's not making that hair move enough. If they want those layers for weight removal, some people want it just for a little bit of volume, and you could just do it on the top, right? Which works out well. But when people want that movement and those round brush blow dry, they want all that layers and that movement, right? But layers are work. You might find a lot of people saying, oh, that's a lot more work, right? Because it is more work for them. But it's nice to have that option, right? But layers are great for the curly hair, right? Getting that volume out. So straight out from the head, right? Here we go. I'm going straight out. I'm going to be cutting over my fingers. Okay. So has anyone noticed where my length is? It's already dropped. What tail is that? I'm like, she's got this tail walk past her. It's hilarious. I miss pets, man. They're funny. Oh dear. So there's my length, okay, remember? And then there's those top layers in the very top is here. So I'm gonna pull this out. So there's my length. And this is up to you guys, but generally you'll find a point. We're just gonna cut off there. So there's my length, okay? And there's a little bit of a layer. So it's like a layering underneath the hair. All right, so now I'm going to continue. I'm going to travel to behind the ear, okay? Keep going. Remembering traveling is the pie sections, still vertical section. Oh, I'm stabbing her ear. She wouldn't like it, would she? So I'm then gonna bring that with me. Or I sort of comb this into it to get it and bring it with me. That's kind of how I do it. It just depends on who you talk to on that one. There's my guide. Can you guys see that? Just trying to see if you can actually see. I'll bring it a bit closer. So there's my guide. There it is, okay. I don't know if anyone's heard of like Tony and Guy. Does anyone hear of Tony and Guy? Massive UK hair company, and they're all about texture and disconnection haircuts, and Sassoon use them a lot just as well for removal of weight. Actually, I think there is actually a video I'm going to direct you guys to as well, as a Sassoon one. All the videos are like, I think they're about half an hour, the actual ABC videos that you guys can watch. But you're noticing that I'm not really taking much here. I'm just taking this and peeling that into it. Coming back. So honestly, that is a very up to you course, that Sassoon course, but wow, it's got everything in it. So it's really, really cool videos, and some really great inspiring like artists as well. See how I've moved? I'm here. There's my guide. Okay. And then that one more I reckon in here. And we'll just leave that for the side. See, I couldn't find my guide, so I'm just going to come in there a little bit more and make sure it's strong for me to see. It's your map, right? Following that guide. Just following the directions. Cross check. I'm going to come up this way. And you, like I say, it's normally only a little one or two little pieces that you might need to cross check, but remember I've traveled, so it should look square as the bottom, right? If it was over directed, if the hair wasn't as thick as this, I would have over directed it in to maintain more weight in there. And if you look, I'm coming up at this part of the head too. And then I'm coming up to the next part in here. It's looking pretty good though, yeah. Okay, this side. Yeah, like you're not going to touch the length or anything today, okay? You're literally going to be doing this, and then I'm going to get you to notch the top in, depending how heavy it is. You guys can actually pick your own texturizing technique for the top, for fun, you know. So I might look a little bit awkward as I do this next one, because I think I'm normally on the other side, but I'm going to try and keep to where I am. There it is. Everyone see okay? Yep, thank you. technology. Gosh, lab recovery. Not long. It really actually, August is not going to be that long away. Let me bring this. Continuing. And then what I'm going to do is check a balance just to make sure that she is even on the both sides in the back. Do a little cross check. I couldn't cut hair with gloves on yesterday. I just can't. It's just such a feeling thing for me. I just washed the client's hair. Like, come on, I'm all right. Sydney, is your mum wearing gloves where she cuts hair? No. But you wear gloves with colouring and stuff like that. And she's not blow drying either? Okay. So make sure I travel still. See, I keep pushing it back a little bit. There it is. Okay, now I'm going to do a cross check. Shouldn't be much from down there because I didn't really layer down there, right? Okay. So I think what we'll do, I'll actually do an actual section like for the men's hair and like shorter hair and stuff, right? When you're actually sectioning is crucial when you're doing undercuts, like men's hair and stuff. Like if they've got their part too high on one side, or it just throws everything off. You got to make sure it moves right where it moves and remove that weight where you need it, or they're going to have a long piece keep sticking over, and it's quite detailed how that is. So you can already see it's just already removed that weight from the bottom, right? Just layering. So right now, if I continued that layering in through the top, that's just a layered bob, which was one of those questions. Was it, or did you guys all go on Milady for that, for the 5 different bobs? You did. It was word for word. Everyone was exactly the same. I'm going, did I teach them that? It was so funny, but that was good that that was there. Yeah. So now I'm going to over direct the sides in, okay? And that's because I want to be able to keep a little bit more weight in the side area here. I'm going to over direct it into behind the ear. Stay. There we go. Well, there's a little bit there. I might actually just break this up into 2 sections so I can actually see my guide better. There it is. And then the next section back as well. Perfect. Twist. This side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just trying to see. Trying to see if you guys can actually see that guide. Yeah, there's my guide anyway. Some people say I can just pull this whole section back and do it, right? But when they've got more hair, I want to make it down just so you can definitely see your guide. And then I sort of do a little check, make sure. So So that's the invisible layers underneath, right? Now, you drop the top. Drop the top. So like I say, very dense, wavy hair. Amazing, this haircut, honestly. We had a slight bit of elevation, didn't we, last week on our manis. I can already just see, I don't know if you guys can see how the top swings. Actually, one of you guys' pictures from last week actually looked like there was an undercut on it, quite similar to this. There was those longer pieces and then there was that little bit of weight removal underneath. So you can just see how it's invisible, but the way it's making, especially wavy and curly hair, imagine now how that would just make the top expand because it's still got length in there, and but it's still going to get that volume from underneath. So with the top, you can just completely leave it if you want to, depending. I'm going to go in and use my favourite notching technique for you guys today, but you could go through when it's dry and ethylate through it a little bit. Or you might just want to just point cut into the ends. I feel that there's a little bit of weight in here still myself, so I'm just going to come in. But yes, some straight haircuts, if you wore this straight, I wouldn't have thought it was really that thing. It's not really, I'd say it's for someone that wears their hair more natural. But you can see that difference, right? Look. No, you can't. Let's move this so you guys can see. Yeah. So you can now see that difference. There's that undercut, right? And this top, I'm going to come in and do my little notching. I'll come this way, shall I? So maybe you guys can actually see a bit better. I mean, you could actually go through and knock out underneath a little bit too if you wanted to. But I think the weight removal is already done under there. I didn't want to, yeah, look at that, looks nice. I actually feel a nice little diffuse on her hair would look quite cool today. Yeah. You can use this the same, actually the long one you'll see on the videos that I've included today. The long one is a really good one. He just does all that underneath and then he brings the whole front forward and just cuts a bit there with a razor. And just lets the whole rest just fly. Yeah, it's really quite cool. I was trying to get someone in for a guest artist today, but they were starting back at work. So I was like, oh, didn't work out so well. There we go. Because he does a lot of undercutting, my old boss. And there's that little bit of an undercut, you can kind of see it. As I'll come to the sides, you can see where I've had that undercut there again. And I might just knit, it's just a tiny bit because she's already had a little bit of texture maybe from what we've done before. And her hair didn't grow back, like come on. Let's come into here. A little bit of notching. You haven't noticed, notching is probably one of my favourite weight removals. I love how I can just control it. You can always take more out, right? You can't glue it, well, you can glue it back in. But you'll have favourites that you'll do, or certain people that inspire you more when you start working in salons. Is anyone here working in a salon? I knew Sid was, yeah. It's time, you guys are going to start working. Let's get this side in. I'll do a little one for the camera, for the phone. There we go. See the front, I wouldn't want to go in it this way, if anyone noticed. I kind of want to do it from under here, so it's not on her hairline. Perfect. What do you guys all think? Do you like it? Watch it move. Was not moving like that before. No way, Jose. All right, I'm gonna get my diffuser out and give her a little scrunch, like a little bit of diffusing, bit of volume, okay? I'm gonna switch the microphone off for you. Okay. Let's do this. Does anyone know how you use the diffuser? Yeah, I mean, there was a girl in one of the videos I showed you. She was using it on like I use it on very low speed, but I use it hot. Like I feel like it should be hot, and I don't let it completely dry. I mostly work. Because you used to see people doing this, right? Way from the bottom. But most people want to keep their length long with long hair, right? So I mostly use my diffuser in here just to create that volume they need, and then I let the ends just do its thing, okay? So I'm going to use a curl product on her. Got this like Diva curl. It's got like coconut oil in it. I still quite liked this one. I started using it just before all of this jazz happened. Perfect. It's nice and light. It's got a little bit of hold in it, but not crazy. Because you probably aren't really taught diffusing and stuff in your style class, or like shorter hair blow dries, isn't it? It's all about styling hair, isn't it, really? Okay. And then what I do, there's a few areas mostly I always find, and it's mostly around the front. I give them a little twirl, you know, a little twist, as you guys could call it. I could have actually done freehand notching on her hair actually in the top, and actually twist cutted it, you know. Here we go. Couple of them. So I did this one, I went this way, this one, that one I'm going the opposite. I'm just sort of moving it the opposite. I could, if I wanted to, I could just kind of clip this back a bit so it dries, sets a bit more off her face as well. A lot of my curly hair clients use a lot of those little sectioning clips just to hold a bit of volume, and it's kind of like setting it really, right? Setting it into place with even a little bit of gel as well. Okay, in here as well. Just do one or two on this side. You could do the whole of their head like this, and it keeps their hair less volume, right? And keeps it long still. Like they could do the whole head, let it dry. Okay, let's grab the old dryer. Turn you guys on side. Mummy working, Baba. Yeah, baby.
This one for me, one for us,
So, as you can see, you should set that out of her face a little bit more. Actually, I should have probably gone this way a little bit more. But you can see just how that wave is just moving more, really, can't you? Yeah. So it's ideal for that kind of hair for sure. For that long hair one, definitely another way of doing it for long hair, but just making sure you can still layer the top actually too. That's another way you can actually sort of still, you could actually still layer this area and then still have that disconnection area, right? But I really wanted to work on that today. Yeah. Any questions, ladies?